Hi, in this teardown I'll be tearing down a Samsung ML-1665 laser printer. I've been using this one for quite a while, but unfortunately it's stopped working, well, about a year ago it stopped working and it's been sat around doing nothing since, so I thought it's time to show it to the screwdriver and the solder iron. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. Okay, now with this being a laser printer, the first thing you want to do is to get the toner cartridge out. Put it in the bag, seal it up and take it to some kind of recycling place. You do not want the toner everywhere. A, it's a mess, and B, there's studies showing that if you get this crap in your lungs, it's possibly cancerous. Mainly because the small particles. Okay. Now, let's see if we can find a way in. It's, I don't see any screws right away. I have to lever my way in. That's going to be the case. Let's have a look. See what we can find. I think this is going to be a tough one. Unusual, but let's take these flaps off for the start. So I'm not worried about wrecking it because this is a destructive teardown, the best kind. Come on. Ouch. Bit me. Right. Doesn't want to let go. There we go. Lid off. What's this? There's some rolls in there. This thing hasn't been turned on in well over a year. It doesn't mean I'm not going to take caution when taking it apart. Let's figure out again. Snap cases. That looks of it. Alright, let's give it this little rubber thing and see if there's any. No. No screws under there. Very, very hot indeed. Yeah, let's do something like this then. It's very forceful sometimes, but job's done. Here's a ring that was. Okay. I'm starting to see some screws now. Way to the side of. This side off. Good. Doesn't want to go without a fight. Mechanism under there on that side, and on this side we have the circuit board and the power supply. You can see on the side here the buttons, and there's light pipes and stuff. Very nice. And I think on there useful. There's an ARM processor, Jupiter. I'm not sure if that's a reusable thing. We've got the power supply circuitry. Now in there will be a burn-in jig, it says on this connector here. But here there'll be an inverter to put the voltage for the anti-static. Sorry. The static thing. Oh, come on, what a pain. Okay, screw down here. Tabs on the desk. Let's get rid of the daughter board. We can have a look what's going on underneath. This camera angle is the best for large teardowns like this. You're going to have to bear with me, unfortunately. Screw for this. So it's connected. Okay, I've got that board off. There's got a big metal shield on here where the daughter board was sat. Control board, I'd say. Let's see if I can get rid of that. just see a lot of diodes and stuff on the on this power supply board. Very useful. Don't have too many diodes. Micro switch. But yeah, look, there's a lot of diodes and capacitors there. Unfortunately, I can't remember the name of the configuration, but it'll open AC voltage to a very, very high voltage DC. I'll put it on the screen when I find it out. Some right angle buttons there, a couple of LEDs, some optocouplers over there, which is par for the course for DC switch mode. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to try and pull this power supply board out. Hopefully without getting a shock. Like I said, it's been off for over a year, but you know, I'm not going to be taking any chances. Plastic guard around the mains input bit. I'll give a better view of it when I remove it from the chassis. I'll probably put little link bits in so people can skip these parts if I haven't already done so. Yeah. That's all in the after bits after I got it uploaded to YouTube. I do all that. Angle for that. It's tall. Okay. Let's see if I can pry this board out. Are there any extra screws I'm missing? Yep, it comes up there, which I believe goes to the I can't remember the name of it, static thingy. See if there's anything extra I can in there. You can see a yellow warning label in there. I believe that's where the laser assembly is in there. Yeah, just see it's like a slot on the bottom, so the laser will be coming out. There's no extra control boards in there. Let's see what motor it is. Big motor casing in there. Oh, it's a nice powerful one. Back to that angle. Okay, so this is way out of there. Some sort of springy connector. Not sure what that went to. high voltage stuff going on in here. And, yeah, this is the control board. Connectors on here, some extra ones. It's got an M393. Some sort of regulator of some kind, I'm not sure. I'd have to check that up. Yeah. Quite a nice little board. Pickup clutch, fuser, it says. Power interface. Main MOT DRV. Main motor drive, that's what that'd be for. Maybe this little chip here is part of the motor drive. It says A3983 SLPT. Good angle on that, I don't see it. Oh, it's close. Oh, it's right here. Although I will put information on that and probably link a data sheet if I have one. Yeah, it's got a 12 megahertz crystal on it. And it's got the ARM Samsung Jupiter 4e. I'm going to have to see if that's reprogrammable. Probably not, I don't know. You never know. I don't see any JTAG interfaces or anything glaring on there, but yeah. Let's see. That might be a RAM chip there to store the image data as it comes out. Oh, there we go. Program. Ah. On the bottom. Okay, I'm going handheld for this, so it might be a bit jumpy. Now I noticed on the back here it says silk screen, says program, and here we have TDI, TCLK, TRST, which is basically the JTAG programming connections. So maybe I'll get my Boss Pirate on there, or something. I'm not sure. I've never used it before for that kind of thing, but it's worth a try. And there's the Samsung Jupiter 4e. I will probably link some data sheets or something down so you can see what it's about. And that memory chip there. Try and get a clear shot. So, yeah. There's that, yeah. So there's the view of that. Possibly a motor driver, I'm not sure. I'm currently suspecting it is, but you know, time will tell. So that's steady enough for people to see. Anyway, this is the power supply board. I gotta figure out the voltages that come from this thing. I doubt I'll be using it again. What it is, but yeah, this header has a bunch of voltages, a bunch of information on here. I don't have any macro ones on here. Okay, it's a couple of 3.3 there. They are tiny. Yeah. It's got a bunch of controllers. Yeah, fuser on. Key print, LED ready. LED jam, 3.3. ground, yeah, 24 volts. Yeah, quite a fair bit. But yeah, that micro switch, you never know when you need one of those. But yeah, anyway, actually have the ratings written on here. So there we go. 3.3 volts, 1 amp, 24 volts, 135 amp. Not bad. Maybe I can hopefully reuse this board and make it drive its own motors. That'd be good. I'll do some research onto the controller board and get back to you. Okay, I did some research on the Jupiter board itself here. Well, sorry, not the Jupiter board, the Bluebird board as it's called. Upside down. There we go. And I found a service manual which told me pretty much a lot about it. Unfortunately, I don't have a macro lens, otherwise I'd show you more close up, you know. Okay, well basically this here, the Jupiter 4E, is it's an ARM 940T. It's a 32-bit RISC core in it, and it actually runs 150 megahertz, which is derived from the 12 megahertz clock. Probably it uses a PLL system inside or something to do that. Now I thought this was some kind of clock controlling chip. But it turns out that's actually it's a 74 LVC14A hex inverter, which that's Schmidt trigger as well, and which is a nifty little device actually, because it runs between 1.2 and 3.6 volts, but it's 5 volt tolerant inputs, so it will work as a good translator from a 5 volt environment to a 3.3 or whatever volt environment. So that may come in handy sometime for me. Now this here is the DRAM. It's a high-speed DRAM. It's made by Eltrontech, and it's the EM-638165, and it's 8 megabytes RAM, or 4 megabytes by 16. However you arrange it in your software and stuff. And this is the printing RAM basically. This is the 8 meg specified when you look up the specifications of the printer. What else do we have? We have a typical regulator here. I think that might be a 1.8 volt. I'm not really sure. I haven't really looked into that. And what we have here is the 4 kilobit EEPROM, electrical erasable programmable read-only memory, which is a 93C66. This one's actually made by ST Microelectronics, which is good. And what we have, I'm really interested in here, is over here is the stepper motor controller. This one's actually an Allegro chip. It's an A3983 DMOS micro stepping driver with translator. If I can remember correctly from reading the data sheet, it does quarter steps as well as half steps, and it was driving a bipolar stepper motor, which I rescued from there, and which I thought was pretty good. These two resistors here are actually the current sense resistors, because it has the current sense capability inside it to Probably to check that it's not jammed, I assume, so it won't burn the chip out. But it actually has an exposed pad at the bottom underneath for the like heatsink. And yeah, looks pretty well. But other than that, we have a nifty USB-B connector. I never did look into this. It's LM393. I think it's just an op amp. I could be wrong. But yeah, that's about it for this board. There isn't really much on the back. Some really tiny resistors and capacitors, which I will not be harvesting because I don't work with that size. Okay, what else I got from here? Well, I got the power supply board. This is where it connected to the toner cartridge, the drum thing, and there's a few bits on there. I may repurpose this board to power the motor. Basically, all I have to do is I gotta find where this hooks up and disconnect it, because I don't need like 1.5 kilovolts. It's just too much for my needs right now. So out of this I got this module, which is the laser module. Basically we have the laser driver here, and then we have the motor drive here. So the laser would come in here and it would hit this mirror that spins, so it'd be like zzz, like that, every 4 times every rotation. And what we have here, I believe, is a magnet, or is it a light sensor? I can't tell. Well, that's right, there's a sensor here, there's a black dot here. I think maybe, yeah, maybe there's a little light sensor in there. Or is it? Anyway, but yeah, there's the motor controller, and yeah, that's how that spins and scans the laser going out of here onto the drum. You can see it scanning away there. This uses, it says it's an invisible laser, so I'm assuming it's an infrared laser. Yeah, so that'll be useless to me because I can't see infrared. Oh, what else did I get? I already shown the motor. I got a nifty gap sensor for the paper feed and the paper empty sensor. Those will come in handy, especially if I'm going to have a try and make a CNC machine. These can be the end detectors, which is pretty good. Oh, in case anyone's wondering about the motor, there's the specs. Well, I haven't looked up the data sheet about it yet. I will do. This looks like a pretty decent motor. So it looks like I've got a few windings connected together there. But yeah, it's pretty good. And also, what I got out of this was this. It's the paper feed solenoid. I'm not really sure how it was in there, part of the mechanism, but I can always find out from the service manual. But yeah, and there's the number if anyone's interested, and this plugged directly onto the board. Same as the stepper motor. And yeah, so hopefully something interesting will come of this. And yeah, let's see what I can cobble together from all this stuff. and it may actually even be in this video, but I'm not sure. A little short on time, unfortunately, because it's March break at work, and that means it's busy because I work in a hotel. So hopefully this will be out soon.